Hello all, welcome to our presentation of on pharmaceutical industries and their prominent players. Today we have gathered here with my colleagues. I'm Raghavan Joshi, and with me we here is Kritika Saini, Anushka Pachori, Athar Dikshit, Shivani Jindal, and Saloni Mahajan. I would like to invite Shivani Jindal to and the companies which we are targeting for this analysis. Over to you, Shivani.
So thank you, Raghav. So before going deep into our presentation, I would like to just give a brief introduction about our industry, that is pharmaceutical industry. And in this industry, we have chosen two companies. One of this is Eli Lilly and other one is Cipla. So let's start with the discussion about pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry has evolved into a complex global enterprise with operating as multinational corporations. So these companies engage in research, manufacturing, sales, and across multiple countries, driven by profitability and fierce competition to discover cures for diseases. Outsourcing is common as companies often collaborate with specialty manufacturers and research firms. And I would give a discussion brief about in what is currently happening in Indian pharmaceuticals industry. So it is on the rise, poised to reach $130 billion by 2030, currently valued at $50 billion. India is a significant pharmaceutical exporter, serving over 200 countries. It supplies over 50 plus percent of Africa generic drug needs, around 40% of US generic demand, and approximately 25% of medicine in the UK. India also plays a critical role in vaccine production, accounting for about 60% of global vaccine demand, including vaccines like additionally 70% of WHO essential immunization schedule vaccines come from India. And also recently, government allow 100% FDI under the automatic route for Greenfield pharmaceutical project. Now I would give intro about our companies which we select under this industry. First one is Eli Lilly. So Eli Lilly is a healthcare company based in the US, specializing in discovering, developing, marketing, and health sectors. Cipla, a prominent India pharmaceutical company operating in over 100 countries with a portfolio of 1500 plus products. It focuses on providing affordable medicines for conditions like cardiovascular, diabetes, obesity, depression, and many more. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Cipla produced generic remdesivir and other drugs to combat the virus. Cipla also supplies APIs, that is active pharmaceutical ingredients, to other manufacturers and collaborates in consulting, engineering, quality assurance, and plant supply, contributing to the recognition in the industry. So now I would like other members to discuss this discussion.
Yes. So, moving on to the intricate value chain of Indian pharmaceutical industries, we have at the heart of it the research and development. The journey commences with extensive research, followed by preclinical trials, clinical trials, and critical phases of regulatory approval. The government mandates and price controls play a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of this stage. After which, we have active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, and chemicals that process spans from procurement to inventory management. Suppliers play a crucial role, and effective cold storage unit ensure the integrity of these components. The backbone of the industry is its manufacturing prowess, which involves robust infrastructure, cutting edge technology, and essential license to produce. Production planning, scheduling, packaging, and stringent quality control measures are imperative for the success of the industry. Moving on to the warehousing and a well-established distribution network form a crux of storage and shipping. The industry relies on outbound logistics to ensure timely and secure transportation of pharmaceuticals. In the competitive pharmaceutical landscape, effective marketing and distribution are a game changers. A dynamic sales force, strategic channels, and a reliable network of stockists contribute to industry success. In conclusion, the Indian pharmaceutical industry is a very complex interplay of research, production, logistics, and marketing. Moving on to the growth driver of the industry, uh, we have innovation through consistent research development investments and effective sales and distribution network. Advanced manufacturing infrastructure technology are its key contributors. Additionally, global expansion strategies, embracing biotechnology, and forming strategic alliances drive market presence and revenue growth. Together, these forces position the Indian pharmaceutical industry as a dynamic and competitive player in the global market. Moving on to the Porter's five forces, my friend will take over.
So, thank you, Kritika, for explaining the value chain of the industry. So, coming to the Porter Five Forces and the Pestle, so both of these tools, they are used to Porter Five Forces. Porter Five Forces, as the name suggests, has five major factors that affect the industry. So we'll start with the very first, that is the industry competition. So in the pharmaceutical sector, the industry competition is pretty high due to the presence of large scale and established players, as well as we have numerous small players as well. So the large players, we have Cipla, Sun Pharma, LLE, and major other companies. Also, we see that there's a trend of M&A, the merger and acquisition deals, absorption consolidation. A very simple example is of Cipla has also acquired Actor Pharma, a company of the pharmaceutical sector in South Africa, to establish its customer base in South Africa as well. Also, we see the technological advancement in biotechnology and generics, like we have the companies such as Biocom, leading to rapid development of niche markets and players. A very simple example in this can also be taken of the vaccines. So we know that in the COVID period, companies, they had made vaccines to provide to the people of the respective countries and as well as to the global, at the global level. Second, we have the threat of substitute. So, of course, the production of generic drugs, once the patent expires, it's not profitable. And there are alternative medicines and treatments such as Ayurveda and homeopathy. They are gaining traction as well, owing to the after effects of the allopathic medicines. Also, like mentioned, that there's genome sequencing industries, and these technologies are being used by major private players as well. So the threat, in short, threat of substitute is pretty definitely it is. It is at a medium level. Coming to the bargaining power of buyers, so hospitals and other health organizations, they buy in bulk, process certain bargaining power, of course. There's high power of manufacturers to dictate price until the patent expires. So, and this balances the skewness that is observed. Also, since we have discussed the bargaining power of buyers, let's discuss the bargaining power of suppliers. So there are several suppliers that are willing to supply raw materials, limiting their bargaining prowess, their skill. There's lower switching cost for manufacturers, and due to backward integration, the threat is lowered. So we can say that the bargaining power of suppliers is also at the medium level. Coming to the last force, that is the threat of new entrants. So there's the huge front up cost in terms of R&D, manufacturing, establish know-how. Then there are strong government regulations and the complicated process of approvals. The compliances are to be met, and definitely there's a high risk of zero ROI if the company fails. Coming to the pestle analysis, so pestle comprises of political, economical, social, technological, environment, and legal. The political factors consideration are the government framework, the government compliances, the hardcore regulations, and the price controls, and it is tightly close that we now see that there's a growth in individual income. We see that people are open to try new drugs to solve their health problems as soon as possible. Also, we see that government tries in multiple ways to reduce the prices for the drugs. Coming to the social factors, so we see that there's generation health factors, global obesity. It's I mean it's on the rise, and there's a health consciousness, especially that has been it has gained traction in the technological factors are that are the growth in biotech industry, increased market reach. Environment factors consider the strong legislation and cybersecurity. These are tightly bound laws. In the legal field, it is the carbon footprint, that is the greenhouse gas emissions that are uh, emitted by the factories while manufacturing the API, that is the active pharmaceutical ingredient, and the other compliances are also to be met. The major industry trends that are we seeing? So that comprises of like the companies are investing in R&D to explore opportunities in biosimilars and the other generics. Companies are also trying to achieve cost leadership via vertical integration. There's high merger and acquisition activity in the biotech and genomic space. Government is easing the regulatory norms for pharmaceuticals that will greatly boost foreign brands and new startups willing to expand into India. So we know that pharmaceutical sector for 17,000 crore in 2021, and it will be like the outlay will be for 6 years. Uh, then government of India is planning to set up mega bulk drug parks in order to reduce the industry's dependency on raw material imports, particularly for APIs. Also, we did see that the government has it has mandated that we do not need to import 54 APIs, particularly used for the manufacturing of drugs, and the government wants to made in India. Also, we see that there's a growth in the number of lifestyle diseases in India that is definitely likely to boost the sale of drugs in this segment. Now, I would like my colleague to go with the SWOT analysis for Cipla and particularly Cipla.
Thank you, Athar, for the nice explanation on Porter's five forces and personal analysis of the industry. Using that as a base, I would like to explain more on how the company Cipla is working on the industry. Currently, as a corporate strategy, Cipla is targeting the lung leadership program. That is having the major market share in the therapies and the every currently it has 22% of the same. It is trying to grow into globally through franchises, and it has been very successful, having a presence in over 100 countries and having taken part in all the growing economies. Going and getting the business strategies, they are leveraging the digital analytics and automation processes. This has been supported by the IT technology, that is Industrial 4.0, by having automated touchless factories and enabling real-time data transparency, thus pointing at the better efficiencies. This is helping them in growing and increasing their overall efficiency as well as the capacity and capability of the company as a whole. This can be analyzed using the SWOT analysis of Cipla. In this, they have many strengths, which is a strong product portfolio, especially in respiratory department. Along with that, they are growing at a 20% year on year. They have a good promoter team, which add value in the company. Along with that, they have diversified into many operational processes, and they are into the process of getting a complete vertical integration as well as diversification. This creates the and looking at the current market opportunities, they have a great market post pandemic where people are getting more and more health conscious, and for which they are trying to provide the healthcare products and services. They offer initiatives to offer affordable. This has been practiced very well in India using the generic products they have produced, and the same it can be observed in the further into the developed countries like US and UK. They have also dabbled into the artificial intelligence and data analytics to improve its research, and overall it is helping them in fast forwarding their R&D. Along with that, it is also helping them in improving the supply chain and marketing opportunities. There are many opportunities to have a as the global requirement is very high. Partnerships and even more opportunities to have acquisitions of small laboratories with great drugs, increasing the portfolio of the company. There are also some weaknesses which we can observe very much in detail in the company like Cipla. And one of the major issue being it has many of its products been imported from China, which is one of the growing problem for them, and it can also be traced into the threats and the tension between the Western world, India, and China. There's a high chance this might be a big no-no for them. Along with that, uh, there are many tax violations named after Cipla, which has resulted in legal liabilities on the company. Along with that, it has limited presence in the into the developed countries, which is they are trying to cross, and they will need actually be able to penetrate. Looking at the threats, there is a very high amount of domestic as well as global competition to the company, which is which is making it difficult to sustain for a long, and the need of new products is increasing. And as we discussed, there is an issue with the raw materials coming from China, for which they will need to uh, get some new product lines through a local. Looking at Cipla's selective vertical integration plan, it has been very much successful and it has accelerated very much during the just pre-COVID and COVID duration. In 2017, uh, Cipla actually tried to expand through the API chemicals. They completely made the APIs they need in-house and also transferred it and provided it to the other companies which were in need of the same. Currently in the world, in the country. Along with that, they have more like about 60% of the distribution network of Cipla is controlled by themselves, and getting it back from the manufacturing and packaging sector, they are manufacturing all their drugs in house. This makes them one of the very few companies who are actually vertically integrated. Unfortunately or fortunately, they they are doing it through the channels, and they only provide the warehouses for the major storage. For wholesalers and ahead, it goes through the channel, and that is how their supply chain is not completely integrated but partially integrated. Hence, it is selective vertical integration of Cipla. And last but not the least, the complete marketing and distribution is monitored and controlled by Cipla, not completely handled, but monitored and controlled. To make a presentation and take it ahead on Eli Lilly.
So now let us start with our next company, Eli. The main focus or the main corporate strategy for Eli is its innovation and research. It has strong emphasis on research and development to discover and develop breakthrough medicines. They invest, and for that they invest in clinical trials. Second is their patient-centric approach. It is at the center of the strategy. They aim to understand the patient's need and develop treatments accordingly to address those needs. They also ensure that these medicines reach the patients worldwide. Major help for this is because of their digital transformation. Lilly has invested in digital technology engagement, and they also utilize this for for further including patients in their patient-centric approach. The next one is their therapeutic focus. The company focuses on specific therapeutic areas where they have expertise and a strong track record. These sectors include diabetes, oncology, immunology, and neuroscience. This targeted approach. Next up is the SWOT analysis for LLD. Next slide, please. Some of the strengths of LLE are its strong brand recognition. The company is recognized for its innovation and high quality products, and this has helped them to establish its reputation as a leading pharmaceutical company. There is a strong R&D capabilities, which focuses on developing new drugs and therapies to address the unmet medical needs. Next up is diverse product portfolio. It includes treatment for cancer, diabetes, depression, osteoporosis, and other diseases. This helps them insulate the company from risk of relying too much on any product or any therapeutic area. And global presence. The company gives them a broad customer base and can take advantage of growth opportunities in different areas. Strong financial performance. The financial track record of company is very strong with strong revenue growth and profitability. It has the financial resources to invest in R&D and continue growing its business. Along with strength comes some weaknesses, which are dependence on very few products. Though it has a diverse portfolio, key products for significant portion of its revenue. Second is the limited pipeline. The drug development pipeline is relatively limited compared to some competitors. Regulatory challenges. The pharmaceutical industry, as stated by my colleagues, is highly regulated, and Lilly faces some challenges in complying to those regulations, like approval for its new products or changes to dependence on partnership. It has several partnerships with other pharmaceutical companies to develop new drugs and therapies. These partnerships can be beneficial, obviously, but they could be vulnerable as well if a key partner decides to terminate the relationship or pursue different directions. But in this whole chaos also comes different opportunities, which includes emerging markets. Lilly has a strong presence, can have a strong presence in emerging markets like China and India. It can also tailor its products to meet the specific needs of these markets and establish partnerships with local companies. Technologies like telemedicine, wearable devices, or digital health platforms is rapidly growing in healthcare industry. This has helped improve patient outcomes and enhances product offerings. Gene therapy. It is an emerging area of research and development, and Lilly can invest in this area to develop new treatments for genetic disorders and other diseases. Precision medicine. It is an approach that uses individuals. Lilly can use this approach to develop more effective targeted therapies with fewer side effects. Certain threats to these companies are intense competition. Pharmaceutical industry is highly competitive, and it has many small emerging biotech companies developing innovative drugs and therapies. Generic competition. When drug patent expires, the other companies produce generic version and reduce the sales of original drug. And the company is very much vulnerable to this generic competition. Second, next is pricing pressure. Given the fierce competition and the generic competition, the pricing pressure for Eli Lilly is extremely high. The payers are pushing back against, and consequently, the payers are pushing back against the high drug prices. This could absorb this product at a level that generates sufficient revenue. The litigation, as the industry is highly regulated, company faces litigation related issues, including patent disputes, product liabilities, and other legal challenges. And these legal challenges could be costly and time consuming for the company. Next.
Thank you, Saloni, for that intense taking you through Eli Lilly's selective vertical integration strategy. So, Eli Lilly, as my friend focused, places a strong emphasis on research and development, and they invest significantly in discovering and developing innovative pharmaceutical products. The company's commitment to R&D is so critical for developing new therapies and maintaining a competitive edge in the industry. And it has a long-standing history of investing significantly in its internal R&D capabilities. For example, they have developed drugs like Prozac and fluoxetine, extensive in-house research programs. Eli Lilly also focuses on specialty pharmaceuticals, as my friend suggested. For example, in products like Verzenio, it is a targeted therapy for certain types of advanced breast cancer. And it also partnered with Quintiles IMS to develop and implement a new clinical trial operating model, which further signifies how devoted they are to developing specialized treatments. Coming on to manufacturing, Eli Lilly has its own manufacturing facilities where they produce pharmaceutical process ensures quality and consistency. For example, they have manufactured and marketed drugs like Eliquis, an anticoagulant, and Taltz, which is a medication for treating autoimmune diseases. They also invested around $2 billion to expand their diabetes drug manufacturing, which also gives them an edge in manufacturing. Coming to distribution, Eli Lilly operates a global distribution network to supply its products to various markets and has expanded its global reach through acquisitions and collaborations. And one notable example is their acquisition of Avid Radiopharmaceuticals, which is a company specializing in diagnostic imaging for Alzheimer's disease. This acquisition allowed Eli Lilly market. Then coming on to sales and marketing, Eli Lilly engages in direct-to-consumer marketing and works closely with healthcare professionals to promote their products. By having their in-house marketing team and sales representatives, they can ensure that their products are effectively marketed and sold to target audience. Eli Lilly has engaged in acquisitions and partnerships, as I already mentioned. One more notable example is acquisition of Novartis Animal Health, which allowed them to expand their Elanco Animal Health division and involved in manufacturing and distribution of animal health. Immunext, which is a biopharmaceutical company, and they collaborated with them to study potential cancer therapies. And all these strategies reinforce Eli Lilly's position as a pharmaceutical giant, as we can see that they participate in both upstream and downstream vertical integration. Coming on to major pharmaceutical players in the market, I would like to highlight Pfizer and Dr. Reddy's. Pfizer is one of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. It is headquartered in New York City. They have a long history of pharmaceutical products, operations in multiple therapeutic areas like oncology, immunology, cardiology, and vaccines. And they have a significant global presence with operations in numerous countries. The company is renowned for creating blockbuster drugs such as atorvastatin and sildenafil, and they're a leading player in development and distribution of vaccines, including COVID-19 vaccine, of course, developed with BioNTech. While Dr. Reddy's is an Indian multinational pharmaceutical in Hyderabad, India, which is a major player in global pharmaceutical industry. and they engage in production, manufacture, and development of pharmaceutical products. So both these companies are global giants with a diverse portfolio of branded medications, and Dr. Reddy's is a major player in generic pharmaceutical market with a focus on producing cost-effective alternatives to brand name drugs. Now I would like to invite my friend Kritika to highlight Sun Pharma, Cipla, and Lupin.
So as we have discussed Cipla in great details right now, it's a leading global pharmaceutical company with strong presence in India. It's known for its affordability and accessibility of medicine. Sun Pharma Industries Limited is also one of the largest pharmaceutical company in India, known for its emphasis uh, on generic and innovative products. Sun Pharma basically operates globally with a robust presence in United States, Europe, and emerging markets. Lupin is also a prominent player in India and global pharmaceutical markets. The company has a strong presence in wide range of therapeutic segments, including cardiovascular, respiratory, and central nervous system, and also in anti-infective medicine. So that's all about the major market players in Indian pharmaceutical industry.
This brings us to the end of our presentation. Once again, I would like to thank you on behalf of our group.